Sometimes I look at the pictures, I go, that's not me. That condition was crazy. First time around was always getting the noise from the family or the friends. You look ill, why are you doing this? They just all were ripping the piss out of me. You're not gonna eat a breadstick. You don't have a breadstick. Got in the car and I just broke down. I started crying. When I started with you guys in 2019, or 2018 rather, I don't want to be a dad, has that visceral fat that predisposes them to diabetes, etc. This time around, my girls are 9 and 6.5. They've just seen dad drops us to school, he's in the gym, and he comes back home and we're having breakfast. Leave it all on the table, 100% effort in, no regrets looking back. If you're gonna do it properly, otherwise don't even bother, don't even start. We were just talking about how second time around, just the acceptance and the reception rather of the shoot and the cut and the whole journey has been a lot different.
Go on.
First time around, and I had this on one of the coaching calls we had with the team, with I think Ed was leading it. And everyone first time around was always getting the noise from the family or the friends, you know, the typical, you look ill, why are you doing this? Are you sure you want to do this? You don't look good, all that noise. And I didn't get that as much. I got a little bit, but I could bat it back a lot. Some funny stories about that at work as well, which you can come on to. But this time around, didn't get as much. And then as soon as the photos came out, just silence. First time around, the photos came out, everyone was like, wow, amazing, you look great. Second time around, the photos are better. I know they're better.
Yeah.
You know they're better. And the ones that actually, to be fair, the ones that are, who did say something, that's when you know who your circle is. So the people that turned around to you and went, that's amazing, well done. That then you know, right, who those guys are and who's close to you. Whereas all the peripheral noise that happened, it never happened this time around. Yeah. Everyone just went silent. It's like the haters just went back. And then you pick up. The funny thing is, because it's a social thing, you pick up, oh, someone saw your pictures and they said you look really good, but they won't tell me. Okay. So they're not telling me, they're telling someone else. Yeah. And you just look at it and you go, yeah, all right, cool. But it doesn't bother me anymore because I didn't do it for them anyway. Right? I did it for me. But the people that really pushed you on and gave you like your flowers, let's say, is that close knit. And first time around, there was a lot more noise around that. I didn't get it this time around.
Why do you know? It's because they just know that you're a guy who goes to the gym.
They just know, now they know that this guy's serious about what he's doing.
Yeah.
And even if we're not doing it, he's doing it. But there's no point trying to like kick up noise about questioning it because you get put back in your place. So they just stay silent. And I found that quite weird, actually. I didn't expect that.
So who are all the people that were bigging up this reel that you put out? So that reel got these like...
The reel was for me because I think...
These gym, like athletic reels.
Yeah, I think the gym that I go to now compared to last time around, the vibe's a lot different and there's a lot of people in there with their tripods and, you know, after 4 years of being around that, you're like, you know what, I want a piece of that. Yeah. So I did the reel and the people that love the reel the most are my girls. My daughters love the music.
Oh, really? Is that why you picked it?
They don't know. They like the music now because they're like, Daddy, put the reel on or put the video on with the music. And then they start singing it and I've got to be careful because there's a lot of cursing in it, right? in the song. But they loved it. And I did it for me just to kind of think like, you know, why not do it? If you're going to go all out, right? On that day and you're going to get the photo shooting and get the tan done. It's that moment, right? On that day in that journey that, you know, if you're going to do it, everything's set up perfectly. Just get the videographer guy in, let's go for it, right?
Yeah. We'll have to link those in the show notes if anyone wants to check it.
But the girls love it. My girls
What do your girls think about you being the fit, shredded dad?
Yesterday, I was in bed putting my younger one to sleep. She's 6.5. She goes, Daddy, show me your muscles. And she goes, flex. Or not flex. She goes, show me your muscles. So, you know, you do that.
Yeah.
And then she does it. But they love it. And it's weird. You'll never know, right, until maybe 10, 15 years from now, how they perceive you. But I already know now that they know that I'm a dad that goes to the gym after school drop or before school drop.
But what do they think about that? Like, what do they think of?
I don't know what they think. I think they just think, I would like to think that they think it's normal. That's what a normal person does, right? Is look after themselves and
do they make comments on like other dads or dads who are not in shape?
No, they haven't. They haven't. Like, when we're out, they might look at someone and go, that person, you know, has, looks good or whatever. But they do, when I had got big and I was bulking, I obviously didn't have abs, right? I looked like I was out of shape. And my oldest, and you've met her, she's in phenomenal, like her abs are phenomenal. She's had abs since she was 3.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, genetically, she's really good at gymnastics and stuff. So she's always had like a 6 or an 8 pack, and she's super skinny, but super lean, super strong. Her core's amazing. And they would take the mick out of me going, Dad, you don't have abs. Now we're in front of the mirror before bath time and we're like going bang. And even my younger one now is trying to like pose and stuff. Yeah. And it's just, I like to think that if I saw my dad like that when I was young, it would have had such a positive effect. And we've all got different reasons why we went to the gym, right? When we started out in school or whatever. I know what my reasons were.
What was yours?
Take a guess.
Girls.
Yeah, it was heartbreak, mate.
Did it work?
Heartbreak.
Did it work?
I got my heart broken, so I went in the gym.
How old are you?
I was like 17. Didn't know what I was doing. Bought a tub of protein powder. Yeah. That's it, right? That's what everyone
I was
does.
selling protein tubs at 17 as well. You might have gone off me.
Yeah. But I like to think that when they're older, they'll look back. And to be fair, my older one desperately wants to go to the gym now. She's got gym outfits. She does stuff at home. She's always doing
She's
gymnastics.
Pretty athletic though, isn't she?
She's very
said
athletic.
She's going, nationals potentially for gymnastics?
Counties, she's doing county stuff. She's broken her ankle on holiday just now, so she's going to have to recover from that. But she's always been super sporty, and she wants to go to the gym. And I sent you that video from post-shoot 2019. We're in a hotel gym and she's doing pull-ups, right? And that's because she's seen me do it. And I think that no one can tell what, and this is so powerful, right? It's the whole point of the journey is no one can tell you now what effect you do today on your kids will have in 10, 15 years, 20 years. And I've seen that in the workplace with the way people have been brought up, or I can assume how they were brought up 20 years ago, right? And how they behave in the workplace or just in the real world. So everything that we do today is, and all parents know this, it all has future consequences, and doing something like being active and healthy can only be positive, right? The only risk I have on it is either some form of body dysmorphia or some kind of obsession with eating, and that's got to be managed, right? And
how do you think about that?
At the moment, my kids eat enough rubbish with me sometimes that it's not a problem. Like we're not always eating chicken, broccoli, brown rice and eating protein pots, and that's not happening. We enjoy our food, but we also try and make healthy choices. We tell them that. But that's the risk with anyone, right? And you see that in the bodybuilding world as well when body dysmorphia kicks in. And that's, particularly in the grittier gyms or the bodybuilding gyms, I see that all the time. And we've just got to be aware that whatever age you are, if you're being active, being healthy, being consistent with everything that you're doing, you're probably in the top 1% in the country or globally in your age bracket, right? But it might be that when you're in that environment of the gym, you might feel like you're inferior. But you got to just remember, take your mind out of the gym, walk out the gym, go to your car, look around you and go, actually, I look pretty good for my age group or my peer group, right? And there's always going to be someone better than you.
We'll touch on your heartbreak in a sec. Tell me about your perception of your dad. You mentioned that you never know until you're older. What do you think about your dad from a perspective of like habits, health, maybe parents, or even just that whole... Yeah, what was your perception of that? My perception of that is really poor, to be fair. My dad knows this, and I said this to him yesterday on WhatsApp. They're away at the moment. I go, guys, you guys need to start walking. Like, what are you guys doing? Or when you're back home, like go out for a walk with mum. Yeah.
Because they're not active. My dad was always working. Like most of that generation, hardworking, grafting. Didn't spend time at all eating proper food or at regular intervals, predisposed to so many conditions. So my dad was diabetic in his 30s, became type 1 diabetic, which is insulin dependent at 40s.
Okay, type 1.
Yeah. So my dad's on insulin and it runs in the family, right? And that was a big, powerful why of mine when I started with you guys in 2019 or 2018 rather, when my youngest was born, that I don't want to be a dad that has that visceral fat that predisposes them to diabetes, etc. So all of that, the perception of my dad and my mom is they could have been healthier and had made healthier choices. But then I look at it and go, well, they've provided, as your parents have and everyone else's of that generation, they were there providing something, right, and laying the foundations for us. But I would like for them to be more active now. I know your parents are like tremendously active, and they've done really well in their own journeys. But that's one thing that saddens me a little bit, that people just think I can't do it.
Why do you think that is? When you say to your dad, go out for a walk,
I haven't got
get
time,
healthier, what does he say?
Or just, it's the habit, it's the foundation in building the habits, right, that aren't there for them, I guess. And just culturally, the food, man, come on, the food is so bad. And the Gujarati food or the diet that they've been brought up on is just not great. That's one thing that I found this time around as well, that when I had someone today at work ask me, what were you doing? I need to lose weight. Yeah. I need to lose, what did you do?
Yeah.
And I'm I can't tell you in 1 minute what to do, because I can tell you, but it's all the stuff that holds all of that together is the foundation of what, you guys have taught me. That glue and that foundation building and the habit building, you can't teach someone that in 1 or 2 minutes, right? If you could, then everyone would be walking around with their tops off. And it's not that easy. Yeah. And I think, for anyone, including my parents, grasping that is hard, right? And there's no literature out there that teaches you that even now. That's what you guys are so good at.
You can read it. You got to do it though.
You got to do it. I've had this chat with you as well, and I was thinking about this on the way here. I mean, we're all pretty crazy, right? If we're waking up, going to the gym or running or doing something every day obsessively without seeing immediate change the next day, especially in this world today where everyone wants everything now, you got to be a little bit obsessive or crazy at some point in you to want to do something where you can't see the results, but you're trusting a process that you're going to get the results. Yeah. Now, obviously, RNT provides that process trust because it's the track history speaks for itself. But someone on their own, I think that's hard, right?
What do you think that craziness is?
Huh?
What do you think that craziness is, or your craziness? Where do you think that comes from?
I think someone, you've got to love what you do or be obsessed by it, or want to do it and have a drive to you, and that's obviously linked to the why. But then you're right. You got to go out and want to do it, and you've got to execute, right?
Well, just before this, we were saying, you asked me about a marathon, and I was like, yeah, but if I've got a baby on the way as well, and exploring where we're moving and all these different things.
You stop there.
But why am I even doing that?
Baby moving. So why the hell are you trying to do this thing? What's wrong with you? That's what the normal person would say. Yeah. So you've got to be a little bit, I wouldn't say crazy, but you've got to be obsessive towards wanting something enough.
Where do you think that comes from for you? Like, where do you think, because you don't just apply it in your health, like you're all in your business. You're also trying to have it all, we're both very similar in that way. We're trying to have it all, right? We're trying to be there for the kids. We're trying to be all in on our business. Yeah. And we're also trying to live shredded year round. Like on paper, it's tough, and it is tough. It's a constant balance, right? Like you're constantly in your head feeling maybe a little bit guilty that you're not. Should I have been there a bit more with the girls, or should I be a bit more of the work? It's a constant. So it's a constant thing.
That definitely was there 5-6 years ago. Yeah, where guilt was there. Yeah, the first time around we were doing it, I felt more guilty than I am now. And that's because I felt that I should have been at home, I should be working more, and I'm giving that all up for this. Like, I shouldn't be, right? Yeah. This time around, because of the makeup of who I am, it's been accepted. So I don't feel people are judging me now because it's just become...
What do you mean by the makeup of who you are?
That I've always said this to a lot of people. I have 3 things in life. It's home, so family, work, and the third thing is something that should be mine. And I say this as a dad, and everyone should have this, should have one thing that's their own. And that's, for me, it's health, fitness, whatever you want to call it. Some other guy for someone else, it might be golf. It might be playing cricket. It might be swimming. I don't know, it could be anything, stocks and shares. It could be anything that someone is obsessed by, loves. It's their escape.
That isn't work.
That isn't work, but it's something that's there. And every now and then, one of those 3 things, if we call them like a tripod, all those 3 things, so let's say it's home, personal, family stuff, work, and training. Okay, so 3 things for me. They all hold me up and keep me balanced. But every now and then, one of those things will take precedent over the other 2. So if work's really crazy, the other 2 take a back step, and I've got to obviously, relay and communicate that at home with Min and stuff. And training takes a back seat. Sometimes when you dial in like we did now, training takes precedent over home stuff and social events and all that and stuff at home. But also work might have to ease off a bit. Not too much, but it eases off. And suddenly they all balance me. And if one drops off, I'm not right.
Yeah.
I know I'm not right. And all 3 need to be cooking at a certain level.
What do you define as not right? Because
mentally,
I'm exactly
not right.
the same. So I want to know what you feel like.
No, you just don't feel like you're yourself. You're not performing. If I have a really bad day at work, I know I go home and I see my girls and everything's well in the world. Similarly, if I have a great session in the gym, you're training well, you feel well, go to work, you're cooking, you're great. Energy's high, focus, sharper, everything. And when you don't do one, slowly everything else starts to fall away and you're not yourself. That's my DNA. Those 3 things make me up. And I've realized this. But back in 2019, I felt guilty about having that 3rd thing, especially with the kid coming. Mila was just born. Yeah. So with you now, let's talk about, your stuff. You don't feel like that, right? But a normal person would, because that's not right. You might be moving, you've got work's crazy, and then you're training, and you've got another baby coming. Like, how does that work for a normal person? But because you know that's you, and your inner circle accepts you for that, it becomes a lot easier to do. But then, to answer the execution bit and the focus, that's got to come from going back to seeing how my dad probably was, right? So when you see your parents working at that age, or you see someone working, that just rubs off on you subconsciously. And that's the hardest thing in this age, I feel, as parents, to teach your kids, is the ability to have a drive, have a focus, have the ability to execute and not give up, and have resilience. Let's call it resilience. That's actually the right word, resilience. How do we teach our kids to be resilient?
What do you do that you think your daughters will look at and think, you know what, my dad's resilient? What examples have you given them?
We're trying to, we always try and tell them, you don't give up, keep going.
But then what's the examples? Like they need to proof, right? You can't just tell them, as a kid,
it's hard. It's really hard.
How do they?
I think the biggest thing, and again, let's go back to the beginning when we started talking. I can't tell you how my impact today is going to be on them in 10, 15 years, but I can make an educated guess. So going to the gym is going to have a positive impact on them, because they'll feel like that's a normal thing to do. Similarly, if they see me working hard and providing, and, maybe I'm not home at 6:30 every day, I'm home 7, or I'm out twice a week or whatever for work, they realize that's actually what you need to be resilient. And that will hopefully rub off. The other thing for me, I've just thought about, when I've been thinking about this, how do I teach them, is start working at an early age, get jobs. So, I started working, when I was 8, 9, 10, like just in dad's company. And then I got a proper job in school. That's another thing. But I'm still trying to find the answer, because I always ask parents this, like people 10, 15 years ahead of me, because I see their kids and I go, those kids are amazing.
Yeah.
Like they're in their 20s, self-sufficient, mature, good head on them. I go, guys, what did you do? And I always ask, because I'm curious.
Well, I know your kids aren't 15, 20, but I think about your kids. I think
you think my kids are good. I look at my kids, I go, nah, when you close the door and you walk out, you see my kids annoy the crap out of me sometimes. But I think that's with everyone. But always ask. And I think I have this all the time with someone else. I always ask, like, how are we going to make these kids resilient? Because we're fortunate enough, compared to when we grew up, that they get a lot more stuff, right?
Well, this is a big one. It's like, how do you deal with that, the money aspect? Because maybe they're growing up around more money.
They earn more money, got grandparents that will want to spoil them.
Yeah.
They get whatever they want.
So how do you stop?
In the world of Amazon, you get it next day. Everything's like bang, 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 bang. I don't know.
How do you stop the spoiled brats, basically? It's impossible, right, to know what the theories are. But how do you think about it, at least? We always explain that, if you want this, you've got to work hard. Or they might come back and go, we went to someone's house and they've got a really nice house. And, they ask these questions and they're young. And it's always down to hard work. Thankfully, I don't think
they're aware yet that you can take, things like AI and all those shortcuts will happen. But that worries me as well. I think that far ahead. And I look at stuff like that and I go, it's going to make people's lives a lot easier. Like, how are our kids going to grow up in a working world with the way it's going? And I just have to constantly pull it back and go, spending quality time with them, showing them how you do things, and then sort of just them seeing how you're unconsciously going about stuff will rub off on them.
Yeah.
Like going to the gym, eating well, doing all that and being active more than anything will hopefully lead them the way. But this time around, my girls are 9 and 6.5, nearly 7, compared to 3 and 6 months. So they don't remember anything last time. But what they have seen is from 2020, when they were like 4 and 2, they've just seen dad drops us to school, goes to the gym, or he's in the gym and he comes back home and we're having breakfast. And that's been a constant, right? Since they probably can remember. That's got, if you ask me that question in 15 years, what that benefit is, I can tell you then.
Yeah. We'll wait and find out.
Yeah, find out.
So you started training when you were 17 because of heartbreak, and then you joined us maybe 15 years later. And I think what were you doing for 15 years?
Yeah, I think the first article you've put up, and when we talked about it, I got more results in
15 years and 15 weeks or something like that, right?
Yeah, 5 months and 15 years. I mean, no one knows what they're doing at 17.
What were you doing? But what were you doing all through your 20s and probably early 30s?
Going to the gym, trying to get a pump, trying to understand, how can I get I remember I got married, and when I got married, I wanted a 6-pack. And my mates were like, why do you want a 6-pack? Because no one's going to see it.
Yeah.
I go, yeah, I know. But because you're wearing an Indian outfit on the mandap. They're like, no, you want to be big. I go, no, I want a 6-pack. And I didn't get either, right? I was 70 kilos skinny fat. That's what I was. I don't know, mate. I don't know
why did you want a 6-pack? Like what played you for 15 years? Yeah, but why? Like, what was like your...
You just see the pictures, right? You don't know anything. You just see people having one in movies. And at that time, you don't realize people are probably on gear or they're taking enhancement stuff to get them cut and ripped.
Yeah.
Your education is so poor, and all you're doing is going to the gym, poor form, dumbbell lifting, chest press, no legs, bit of cardio. You get out, you get a bit of a sweat, you look pumped for like 10 minutes. Diet's off point, like diet's completely bad. Couple of your protein shakes, and then you think, why am I not getting results? And it's so weird. Like, I almost thought all your stuff that I was looking at 2018 wasn't real when I started, when you kept coming up on my feeds or socials or whatever it was. And you just go, this ain't real.
Yeah.
And then remember, there's no AI back. Like, AI wasn't a thing, right? In 2018.
It's Photoshop.
It was Photoshop. Yeah, everyone thought it was Photoshop. And I still say it's in credit to Sham. Big shout out to Sham for you. I think Sham's shoot, I didn't know him.
Yeah.
I saw that and I went, And I saw a picture of him before, and he was way out of shape. Like, he was big. And I went, this guy looks decent. And then I saw someone I knew. Someone else I knew. I think it was Sonal or...
Oh, yeah.
Or I think someone like that.
Yeah, both of them.
From my gym. And I asked them, and then we started. And then, let's go back. So much noise. Why are you doing this? You look ill. Why are you eating that? Yeah.
How did you deal with it? What was like the worst moment?
First time around?
Yeah.
I think I said this last time. I still remember it. There was a leaving due for someone at work. Went to a restaurant. I was sort of 4 weeks maybe. I think we had pulled the pin. We were going in hard. Proper on the diet. Went to this thing I knew I wasn't going to eat. And it was an Italian restaurant with breadsticks in cellophane wrapping that they just stick on the table. And I wasn't eating anything. Nothing was going in my mouth. Yeah, I was dialed in. Low energy, low carb, everything. My cousin turns around to me and they just all were ripping the piss out of me. You're not going to eat a breadstick? Do you want to have a breadstick? I'm like, no, I don't want a breadstick, man. Got in the car and I just broke down. I literally I started crying. And Min was with me. And then I went in, I told us this was the last time, I confronted my cousin on the Monday at work, and then he joined RNT because I told him I felt really upset and this is what happened and this is how you made me feel. And then he joined RNT. And that was the first time was really the worst. But this time around, mentally, I believe I went deeper. I don't know what you think.
Yeah.
But I think I went in harder and the food wasn't an issue this time around. The training wasn't an issue. I loved the training. The food was actually easier. But mentally, oh my God, it was hard.
Why?
I don't know, man. I know one of the reasons was my kids. So back then, my kids were like, one couldn't talk, one was a baby, and one was 3. So really like one kid.
Yeah.
Because Mila was just pooing, sleeping, milk. Yeah. This time around, I got 2 kids that just know how to like push me in the mornings, trying to get them out. Any parent knows getting them out of the house in the morning's hard. Coming home, irritation. And when you're low, you know, you lose your temper quite easily. And there was a few times that happened. I remember being like on the Stairmaster, watching something on YouTube, I could start crying like.
Really?
Yeah. I was low energy wise. People don't see that. And I remember I had a coaching session at work with someone. And the coaching is, they ask you a question, then they're just quiet.
Mm.
And he just asked me a question about my brother. And he just started spilling all the stuff about my brother, about how great your brother thinks of you and what you're doing on this journey, but in general, how you supported him. And I just heard him say all this stuff, the coach say all the stuff about what my brother said about me. It was all positive. And I cried for about 5 minutes. Even now I could feel like I could start crying, but my energy's a lot higher, my cows are higher.
Yeah.
But I remember sat there and I just bawled for 5 minutes in front of this coach. And he was really good. He just sat there and he just listened to me and he could see it. And this was like 2-3 weeks out from cut and I messaged you. And then I joked with the coach afterwards. I go, I know I'm dieting hard because my cows are that low that I'm breaking down like this. So I know the cows are working and the journey's working. But yeah, emotionally, I was a lot more on edge.
Why do you think that is? What was like, were you having like breakthroughs? Were you able to just like express your emotions more? Like what was going on that made you feel like you were
I think there's a lot
kind
going
of on the edge a bit more?
I think there's a lot more going on around me. So the kids were older. Min was amazing. Like she was brilliant. And she could tell, right? The moods were there. And I would lose my shit over anything and everything that would happen. And that's, again, a good sign. Like in the back of my mind, I'm losing my shit and I'm going, oh, this is good because the cows are working. That's the way I would think about it. Subconsciously,
yeah, this is not the best way.
Not the best way, but I go, no, man, this is normal. Raj, calm down. Work, I was getting very shouty. People told me like your headspace wasn't great, but I was also becoming a lot clearer. I wasn't standing for BS anymore.
Mm.
So if people were energy sapping me or draining me, I just cut it out, right? Because when you're on that cut and on that journey, you don't have the energy or the bandwidth to deal with BS. So I would address it head on. And I'll be like, I ain't got time for this. Or just flat line, ignore it. So work was busier. The girls were older. But I do think I went in a bit harder.
Well,
and I think my cows, I look back, my cows on the last few weeks were similar, if not lower than last time around. Yeah. I think we went in hard. You went in hard on me.
Yeah, I mean, I think interestingly you say that because I found every time I've done a diet, it's been harder.
Food.
No, just same reason you just said. Not the food, not the training, not the activity, mentally. My 2022 one, no, I think it's because you can push yourself harder. And now all the things you think around with food and training isn't on the table anymore. And you can just go all in on that journey. Like 2022 took me I went so deep. It took me about 3 months to recover just mentally. I was completely fucked. Completely.
But then you look at those results.
Yeah, but I took myself to a place I'd never been to before and I couldn't even imagine going to, but it took everything out of me. Like I never thought that was even possible. But training and nutrition wasn't even a factor. I was just getting through the days.
That's a habit that's been built up for like years before, right?
It was getting through the days mentally and physically. That was the hardest bit.
Yeah.
But why do you push yourself then? Because a lot of people get to the edge of the grind 4 weeks out. They're like, you know what?
If you're going to do it, you're in. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it.
But why do it versus stop 4-6 weeks out and be like, you know what? I've hit reassessment point. I'm happy. I look better than I've ever done. Why do I need to go and do this next? Why do I need to voluntarily suffer through this experience? Like what? I mean, I know, but I want to hear from you. Like why?
I want to. So if you ask me, do you think you left it all on the table? Have you got anything you could have done better this time around? I would say I could have done this sooner. So I was complacent probably all the way through last summer. I didn't make the progress I did, and the progress only really hit like come November, December. I was too lax with everything, and the habit formation wasn't done quick enough. And I think that's down to the fact that I was like, yeah, I know I can do this. It will happen. Work's busier. Let me take this thing on. So that's my only regret that didn't happen quicker or earlier, particularly tied in with my birthday. But I don't think I left. I think I left it all on the table. I think I went in as hard as I wanted to. I didn't think I could get into low 64s. Maybe I think I touched high 63s. I didn't think that was possible. And then when we started this, I said, yeah, I'll be 67, 68, 66. Last time I was 62. I go, yeah, I'll put on 3 kilos. So maybe 65 we can get to. And you're like, no, 64 lows. I'm like, whoa. I go, we won't get there. We'll talk about that in 4 months.
Yeah.
But we got there. And then I look at the pictures and I'm like, wow. I even sometimes look at the pictures, I go, that's not me. Like that condition was crazy. For someone like me to do that, if someone showed me that 10 years ago, that's what you could look like. I go, yes, Photoshop or AI. Yeah. I even show people now, I go, look, this is what they go, why did you do this? I go, here you go. I go, that's not AI, by the way, yeah? Because you could probably get that in AI.
Yeah.
And shout out to Simon, he was brilliant. Photographer was fantastic. But I think the reason why I didn't go up is it's that mindset, right? You want to know that you're going to do it to the best of your ability. And it's what what we're trying to teach our kids. Leave it all on the table, 100% effort in, no regrets looking back, and leave it all out there. Because if you're going to do it properly. Otherwise, don't even bother. Don't even start. Yeah. And that's, I think, why we went in. I remember you said this to me as well when you saw my pictures in January when I was going away for work. You were worried. You said this to me at shoot. You were worried that I'd just be like, yeah, that's all right. I look good enough.
Yeah.
And similar body weight to I am now. On the way down, I had abs. I was like 66, high 66s, low 67s.
Yeah, in the sweet spot.
Sweet spot on the way down. I look good.
You look good.
And you're like, and I went away and everyone looked at me and were like, oh, you look brilliant. I go, then I was like, watch.
I remember telling the team, I said, I hope he hasn't got complacent. I think he has got complacent. Let's see in the next 2 weeks, it's make or break for him.
And when I came back, we booked it, right? We booked the shoot.
Because you were in that dangerous place that I'm referring to here where you're looking good, everyone's giving you compliments, you've probably not seen yourself look this great because then you got a balance of fullness, leanness.
Yeah.
It's great for the beach. And there's often the question of like, why? Why bother pushing? But then there's a whole new level you don't even know is possible.
Yeah.
It's very easy to get stuck in there.
That's what happened.
That's what you want to be after. That's where you want to be after, like where you are now. This is where you want to be year round, unless you've got ambitions to bulk in. But this is where you want to sit year round.
Yeah.
But you want to experience what that depth is.
It's funny because people did say that. We were in holiday in Christmas, and I was probably like 68, 67, and I had abs like top, just coming through with a bit of tan, sun. You look good. And I looked at myself, I go, I look all right. Like this is not bad. I would take this 2 years ago because I was big. But when people started saying that to me in January when we went away, you look really good. In my mind, I'm like, remember from last time, I go, this ain't, when you go down, I keep telling people, when you go down from that kind of level, the further you go down, the better the journey up.
Yeah.
Because that 2 to 3 kilos post-shoot, oh my God, it's amazing.
Yeah, you look sick, right?
You look brilliant. You feel good.
Yeah.
And if you can hold it and then build your calories up slowly, life just becomes normal.
Yeah.
And you become year-round lean. And I say this even now, like the vascularity or whatever you see, arms, people you're talking to someone and you just see the eyes just go.
First thing I looked at, I was like, holy shit, he's got veins out today.
You look, people, you just see people's eyes go, and I go, why are they not looking at me? I go, oh, okay. And you don't say anything, and that's what I mean. The noise stops because people know now.
Yeah.
No one ever comes up to you and goes, oh man, you look amazing. Yeah. You look great. That's not a normal thing. People will turn around to you and go, don't lose any more weight. You'll look ill. I think you've said this as well. I've heard you say this. No one has a go at you if you look overweight or you put on weight. But 100% they'll tell you that you've lost too much weight. Yeah. If I see people losing weight now, I'm always giving them flowers. I'm always like, you look amazing. Keep going. I can tell on your face, like, it's gone in. You look really good. Keep going. How much have you lost? Oh, thanks for asking. I've lost like 5-6 kilos. And I'm like,
But when someone's gaining weight, no one says anything. What they'll do, they'll think it in their head, but no one's saying anything.
And I think it's really important that you told people, because people need that. Like, people need to feel positive about what they're doing, because it is hard. Yeah. Unless you're cheating, it's hard.
It's like when you said to me, you're at the peak of your bulk, and you're like, I'm going another 5 up. I said, dude, you're just going to get fat.
I did get fat.
You're just getting fat.
I got too big. That's That's probably one thing on the way up.
Yeah, you went too high.
I remember the day of the shoot in 2019. Huh?
You got carried away?
I got carried away. In 2019 on shoot, Sham, we were finishing up and he said to me, Project 80.
Yeah.
Get to 80 kilos. And I was 62 at the time. And I'm like, I'm not getting to 80. What's wrong with you? No, I'm going to be like 68, 60, maybe 70. Yeah. Never going back to 80. Or never going to 80. The heaviest I've been was like 77. I looked horrible. He's like, nah, Project 80, Project 80. I'm not right. And then like 4 years later, I'm at 84. And that's when I was like, time to come down now, because we're 8 months away from 40, 8 months, 2 kilos a month, 16 kilos. We need to get down, yeah? We need to get down quick to 68, 67. And I was too big. And I got too big. And in hindsight, maybe I should have stopped around high 70s.
We've all done that. I went up to 91 once just because I wanted to hit 90.
Yeah.
I probably should have stopped at 86, 85.
You don't need to.
You don't need those extra 5. It teaches you a lot, though. It teaches you, like, when you're doing it in a way where you're training hard, you're eating well and doing it, not just like getting, like, just eating McDonald's 3 times a day, but...
Yeah. Well, I wasn't...
You're starting to get too slow. I mean, I remember when I was getting to 90, 91, I was like, I just need some burgers now to get these cows in. But why did you choose the muscle building route? Like, you got to great shape in 2019. You consolidated really well. You stayed in that real sweet spot for a while. You enjoy just having a 6-pack here around. What made you think, right, I'm now going to aggressively build muscle?
So, simple as COVID. So COVID happened. That summer we were going to be going to Miami for my best mate's stag. So I was like, right, I am primed for first time in ever. Everyone has a Vegas or Miami holiday, whatever, with the boys, or Ibiza. I'm going to be that guy in the friends group that's going to look great. And it never happened. It still hasn't happened. Maybe next year, Vegas. We're going to plan a trip.
You love a Vegas trip, don't you?
I love a Vegas trip. I need to go back to Vegas. But it's never happened, and it didn't happen because of COVID. So I remember I reached out to you and I was like, look, what are we going to do now? Because no one's going on holiday in 2020. No beaches. They need to be like looking like I'm going to be on a beach-ready body. Yeah. So we started building slowly. And I look back at those pictures, and I've got all those pictures on the phone. And we went slowly up. And I think I started at 67, went up. And then after that, I think work got intense. So work took priority. And then I enjoyed the size. Yeah, because you start to fill out everything. And it's weird. Your perception of yourself at that time, when you look at yourself, you think you look really good. I look at myself now, I go, now you're just fat. But it's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to find the picture of me at 82, 84, and I'm posing. And it looks like my body's huge, and it's like got this little head. Someone's like copied and pasted my head on someone's body. But I was big, man. I've got a whole wardrobe in the loft that is all larges, and all the stuff I'm wearing now, my work, all of it's 2019, 2020. But the difference now is I've embraced that. I've embraced the 2 wardrobes. I've embraced recycling. The clothes, the larges are now in a box in the loft. If I want to go big again, it's there. But I would love to think I'll be able to get into some of that, 2-3 kilos up, because I'll be able to hold maybe not the leanness, but the size definitely will be there.
Yeah. What way do you want to get big though? Like,
no, I don't. Honestly, I don't know yet.
Oh, you just kind of like just enjoy that journey because of COVID and all that.
Yeah. So the size happened because COVID, and then work got really intense, and the focus was work over family and training. I was still training, and then from 2021, work was always present, and the size just happened.
Give you that boardroom presence.
I think the work dinners, the socials.
Yeah.
But also, I was still training. I never stopped training. May have stopped going to the gym 4 or 5 times. It might have been 2 or 3 times a week, but I was still training, still pushing and logging everything. But that just took over.
Yeah.
And I think I got too big. And then in my mind, it was the 80. But people would look at me and I was big. I remember playing football at work, and someone shouldered me, and I shouldered him off, and the guy flew, and I went, whoa. I like the size and the strength that you have at that, or what I had at that was pretty impressive, but horrible cardio. My cardiovascular health was terrible. Yeah. And that's all really good now. That's like a positive of being this lean and coming down, is I'm so much more fitter and lighter.
Well, just like switching tacks a bit to work. You don't work a normal regular 9 to 5. You're a co-owner of a big pharmaceutical company. How do you balance? Not balance, it's not even the right word. How do you avoid the busy trap of like, I'm too busy for doing fitness
To train.
And
if I don't train, I'm not great at work.
What does it give you as a high performing exec?
Sharper energy. Right now, I can tell you definitely work is so full on. I feel like it's really full on right now. And if I had this during the cut, it would have been harder to deal with. And what I would have done then is I would have blocked some stuff out and not been able to perform maybe to the levels I would want to. But right now, with the energy and everything else, just sharper. Energy is better. You're ahead of most things, or you're seeing things and your energy is like that. And then that reflects down to your team, right? They see me working like that. They see, like, it starts to rub off on them in terms of your output. But I don't work a normal 9 to 5 or 9 to 6. Always working. The phone's always on. One thing I have learned since the kids is Saturdays, try not to. Whereas before I'd be working Saturdays and Sunday. And I like that Saturday. I'm that dad now. I don't know about you, but I used to have this with my dad. He would come in from work, he'd sit on the sofa, something would be on, and he's not doing anything. He's just sitting, and he's out within like 5 minutes, just having a nap, like a power nap.
Yeah.
And that happens now on a Saturday because I'm whacked.
I do the same. Yeah, I fall asleep.
And if you're not busy, all dads, even dad told me this 15 years ago when we were out. He's like, I'm one of those dads now. I sit down. If I'm not doing anything, I could just fall asleep like that. And that is true because you're always busy. But the Saturdays I've learned to just give to myself, and you need that downtime, right, to go again. But the thing about training, and a lot of people have said this, it really, really helps at work. It particularly for me, balance me.
I think it turns us into savages. Honestly, I think they work so well hand in hand. Like, some of your best ideas come in training. Walking, mate. Oh my God. It prepares you to just be sharp, on the ball, idea generation, solving problems. It's the best time to solve problems is just doing some cardio, walking.
I tell you,
in between sets when you just messing around. That's when the things come to you. Oh shit, this is the thing.
We talk about it a lot, haven't we, as well? It's not just that. It's also the resilience that it builds up. So, first time around, I remember I was messaging you, the baby's young. I've had like 2.5 hours sleep, but I'm getting the workout done, all the steps done. And even now, like, I've had a really bad night sleep, just working late, but you get the training done. And then you go, and then you have all this bank of stuff because let's take you, for example, baby, move, whatever. work's crazy, doing the marathon training, you've had a shit day, or you've had a bad night the night before, but you're still getting up, getting the training done. All those episodes of you going into the gym or training or running when you've had a bad 24 hours, but you still get it done, that's resilience. So when I walk into work now, and at the moment I've got something on my plate that's huge, like it's a lot of stress, but a lot of thing. But someone said to me, can you do it? I go, yeah, I can do it. I know I can do it. And that self-belief and that resilience to know that over adversity, you can overcome adversity, but also it's not, don't give up. That comes from being able to show up day in, day out and be consistent in the gym. So when you've had a bad day, or you're going to have a bad day, or you feel rough, you're still going in and getting the work done. That in itself, and consistently showing up in the gym or training to do steps or doing your cardio or knocking the diet, all that you do, that has such a positive impact to work in terms of the way you address problems and problem solve or not give up. Because we talked about it, Goggins, the cookie jar. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a cookie jar. And you can build so much momentum from all those small wins that you have, right? And when times are shit and you're feeling rough and you got to go out at 10:30 at night and do some steps, and there were times like on the cut, just go in and go, why am I doing this? What have I done before when it was like this? What did I do? And you just get it done. Because back of my mind, I'm always thinking, if I give up, how am I going to feel if I didn't get it done? Yeah. So I think that's the biggest impact on work, on training, is that constant showing up and consistency spills over to work.
What do you see in people who don't? Because you got loads of employees. What do you see in the people that don't do it?
Just drifting through life, turning up, going through the motions. No
why do you think that happens? If they just,
fear of failure, anxiety, insecurity, reassurances on stuff, confidence. It makes a massive difference. You know, there's even a thing now that I want to start that I know you do. It's not so much journaling, but the self-meditation or self-reflection. I think that's so powerful.
Like what?
Just to de-stress after a long day. Like you could have had a really bad day at work or at home, but almost to say, you know what? I've got through it. It's all okay. I'm going to reset. What were the wins from today? What could I have done better? And just have some time for reflection and calm. I think that's hugely powerful. I read something that if everyone in the world did that, the world would be a much better place. If everyone meditated for like 20 minutes a day, the world would be a much better place. Society would be much better. People would be kinder to each other. And I think that's something that I need to do more, just to kind of come down. Because everything, you know, the way we are, everything's quite intense. Whether it's work.
How do you stop your mind racing right now?
I don't know. That's hard. That is hard.
Yeah.
It's that weekends, that Saturday is really powerful, where the phone doesn't ring that much or the laptop's off. I
find those are the worst because now I've got no distractions. I'm just like, oh my God, my mind just goes mental.
Or you can do stuff. Well, the weekends are really important in that sense. And if I work on the Sunday, which I'll always switch the laptop on sort of, you know, evening to get ready for the week. If I've worked intensely over the weekend, my mind on Monday's not great. It's not fresh,
agreed.
Because you're already tired. It already feels like Wednesday, Thursday. It's only Monday in terms of your energy. So, the one thing I need to learn is have that balance. Yeah, I think we all need to have that balance. If you're working like that, because home in that tripod, the home stick can't always keep taking the brunt of the sacrifice. Yeah.
One thing I learned last year is, so I'm the same. I've got 3 priorities in life, right? Immediate family, business, and training. But I found that last year there's actually a 4th layer to the whole thing, and it's time alone. And it's time alone with no goals. Because what I found was before training, well, it goes through seasons, right? But a lot of my time with training tends to be goal linked. So it goes from being a de-stressor to like stakes are high. So the training suddenly has high stakes. So then I found everything I was doing just had high stakes. And I needed this other layer to underpin it of like actual just like, I just need like time to just myself. Well, I'm not even really training powerful. Because I found when I'm training, as yes, I'm on my own, but I'm so goal driven in the session. It's not even a switch off time anymore. it's almost like another stress.
Do you think that'll ever turn to you to just be something that you're doing
Yeah.
just for you?
So when I'm going through different phases, so like, for example, because I'm in the phase of like, I need to get quicker and fitter, there's no real time to coast. So in this phase of my training, I need that other layer. Otherwise I feel like the walls are coming up and it gets too much. So, you said to me, I'm going to the in-laws next week. One day I'm just going to just sack off and go to some place on the water for one night. And I'm just doing it just to like unwind.
Try and unwind.
And not have a goal sort of thing. So I find time, it doesn't have to be long either, just like 30, 60 minutes where it's unstructured and there's no goal with that time.
Yeah.
Is really key. That's the only thing
I'm
found actually
going to go
help.
away and think about that, because I find when I do that on a rest day, I don't get guilty.
Yeah.
But I get, my mind is still racing and I'm trying to get it away from it. And it's basically nothingness, just to rest, chill, reflect.
My favorite thing to do is
the
just,
body needs to rest.
My favorite thing to do is just sit in the armchair, nice coffee, black coffee. I might do a bit of journaling. I might do a bit of reading. I might just do nothing and just sit there for like half an hour, 60 minutes. It feels so good.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
But without that, I feel like the stakes just get so high in all three areas. Because with young kids, the stakes are high already, right? So that's been the only way I feel like that you can get some balance. Or at least stop yourself from just tipping over the edge. Otherwise, the mind's just always going.
Yeah, no, for me right now, the training part of it is for me.
Yeah.
That's mine. But you're right. If I think about it, it is goal orientated because we're going for a checkpoint here, right?
Yeah, well, if you're going aggressive muscle building, you're trying to PR on your lifts.
Yeah.
There's all these different things. So it depends. It just depends what phase of training you're in. If you're in a fun training phase, I think you can get that.
You can get that on your own.
Get that out of it. Sometimes I'm just like, I think because I got injured recently, and I said to you, I've had so much energy in that period of time. I think the big reason is just my training wasn't goal oriented. For a month, I was just training to just keep fitness, keep things ticking along.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how good it felt. But by the end, I was like, I'm ready for this training now to be more goal oriented. But for that month, it was nice. And it just reminded me that you need.
Do you think you always need a goal though?
No, I don't think you do. I think that it gets less and less as I get older anyway. And I think the thing I'm finding is the shift is more, is it enjoyable? Like, there's no point just grinding away at business if it's not enjoyable for me anymore. Like, I've got no interest in that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, what's the point? Then it's just self-harm, isn't it? Otherwise.
Yeah, then you're going to burn yourself.
Well, you're just trying to, you look for an elusive there that's never coming. So you got to find something that you can enjoy along the journey.
Fair enough. No, that's powerful.
Anyway, back to you. How's the physical been the vehicle for you? On the 40th birthday, you sent me a note.
Yeah, I know I was going to talk about that.
Yeah, go on.
No, it was emotional, right? I think anyone who's turned 40, I think someone said to me, 40 is a birthday that you'll have in your life where you feel you're halfway. It's very reflective. You're very reflective. Looking at the past, present, and future, and where you're going. So I obviously look at what's happened with me and where I am in life. Look at where I am today, and look at what I'm going to do. And obviously, I was 40 in Jan. The shoot was April. We'd already started cutting from Jan. Calories were low, energy was low. Very emotionally tuned in. So I remember I rang you and left you a voice note, and I was crying because I was emotional. Again, knowing that the calories are working because I'm at that level. But I got very emotional because of obviously how the physical has been the vehicle for me. Meeting you and RNT 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and what it did for me personally, the positive effects it had on my family, for me and how I've performed at work, for me in itself, and how I think I've become comfortable with being obsessed with trying to be healthy and be gym. And, originally it was always about looking good, but that's just a byproduct of what's happened. If today someone said to me, you're not going to look that great, would you still go to the gym? I'd be like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll be still going. So the whole mind shift of how I feel and my attachment to being healthy and fitness is down to RNT. And it's made me perform so much more better everywhere. It's also made me, like I say, more comfortable with myself. I think you grow up feeling not insecure, but going like, why am I feeling like I need to go to the gym? Like, what am I getting out of it? What am I trying to do? Or what am I trying to do at work? And it helped kind of match and join things up for me, 100%. And become comfortable with being a little bit sort of not fitting societal norm about what you need to eat and you need to drink, you need to go out drinking. And I never enjoyed drinking, right? I never enjoyed drinking. A lot of people don't enjoy drinking, but they do it. But I always wanted to shy away from like going out and getting pissed. It never sat right with me. I just didn't do it even at uni. But now I know it's all right not to do that, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not fitting the norms. I think all that, everything I've gone through with you guys has made me feel just so much more centered as a person and way more comfortable in my own skin. And how do you say, just confidence in what I'm trying to do and who I am. I think there's a large part of people don't really know like what they're doing in life. Like we've talked about, there's guys who they're just going through the motions. I was probably that guy, probably from 17 to 35 training, right? But in all things, you're just going through the motion. So
why do you think this allows you to sort of figure out what you want out of life?
No, I think it's about, for me, it was like, it just connected everything. I think I said this to you in my voice now. I just feel like everything's way more connected now since I've been with you guys and I've learned everything that I've learned so far. I've become comfortable in the way that I don't feel guilty about training. I don't feel comfortable that maybe I'm ignoring work or ignoring family for like an hour and a half, an hour a day. People have accepted it, but also it makes me perform better. And I feel like, this is me. I know what I'm doing is right and it's right for me. And I'm not trying to fit any kind of societal norms or peer pressured into something that I don't want to do. But the performance for me as an individual is huge, especially this time around, I feel, compared to last time. Last time I was a newbie, right, on the first checkpoint. This time around, like we talked about at the beginning, the no noise tells me that people just have accepted me for who I am and what I do, but also just the haters, I don't hear the noise anymore because it's just quiet. And either that's people accepting me for who I am or people just don't have anything bad to say anymore because there's nothing good to say because they know that it's just been shut down.
Why do you think it's important people continue the journey after checkpoint?
First bit is that first consolidation is post checkpoint. Amazing. Probably the best you can look and feel. If you had a graph between the way you feel and the way you look aesthetically, I think it's wicked. If you do that properly, I mean, oh my God, it's amazing. And that is really hard. You know, why do so many people fail after dieting? Yeah. This is what we're trying to avoid. And I had to explain to people this is what's so important. So that's the first thing. But also it allows you just to kind of let everything sink in. The shoot we talked about the shoot. The shoot isn't a great day. For me, it wasn't great. I was horrible. I was not a great person to be around. Look at my photos. I'm not smiling in anything. I think I'm only smiling at the end when it was over or when I saw the pictures and I went, oh, wow, I look really good.
Yeah, that's probably a mixed, I'd say some people, I might be in a similar boat. Some people, it's the best day of their life. So yeah.
For me, I felt I was so low and I was just on autopilot listening to your advice and obviously Simon's, the photographer. But I think afterwards you get to this point where life is good. The world isn't going to end. That's how I felt on the day of the shoot because of the energy. And you just feel like, you know what? I can hold this and look this good and perform at this level. And sticking post-journey is so important because there's so much more to learn. Societal, how to navigate things. People now say to me, oh, you know, you're not dieting anymore, right? Why are you eating that? I'm eating that because I enjoy that food. It's not a diet thing. It's not tracking a calories thing. I actually like it. It agrees with me. I don't feel crap after eating it. I enjoy it. And I know it's good for me. And they're like, oh, okay. I was talking to Ed about this. Someone said to me in my cut in work, you shouldn't be eating those protein yogurts. They're not good for you. And this came from someone at work when we had just left a meeting and they'd whacked 2 Kit Kats in the meeting. And outside she said to me, you shouldn't be eating those yogurts. They're not very good for you. And I looked at her and I just went, bang. I just took the top. I was like, no, I think they're all right. And I just laugh now. You got to laugh at people's view on things like that. So, you have to keep going and stay. And it's such a rocky period, right? It's such a slippery slope. You've had it before, right? When you've dieted, got to a really good condition, and then it's gone out your grasp quite quickly in a short space of time by not dieting properly or reverse dieting on the way back up. So hugely important to stay dialed in with the coach.
Amazing. What's next for Mr. Raj?
I know you've asked me this before, and I didn't think it was a thing. And then I talked to my brother about this, and I think we're all quite similar. You got to have a goal. Like if you haven't got something to go for, and reach for, then for a year and a half or year I've been working on this. So the next goal for me is, in honesty, I think for the rest of this year I want to hold the leanness and hold the weight. I don't want to go back up to be that big. I said this last time as well, by the way. But I think at 40, to shift the weight back down again in 2 or 3 years will be hard. But I just want to build strength and the condition. I finally got legs. I want to build all my lifts up on legs that I was doing before at 80. Let's see if I can do them at 10, 12 kilos lighter. And then maybe some cardio goals as well. 5Ks, 10Ks.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've never been able to run, this sounds crazy, but I've never run a 5K under 30 minutes.
Blimey.
Never, yeah? And that's like, you could get out of bed and do that probably.
That's my easy running.
That's an easy run, yeah? Not for me.
Yeah.
So running's never been a good thing for me. I've never enjoyed it, but I want to do that. And then I might do another London to Paris bike ride. I've done 2 already.
Yeah, nice.
I think cycling's a big thing for me. I want to do another one of those next year.
Yeah. And just so I'm clear on the goal thing, I think it's important to have it so you have focus in there.
Correct.
I think the key is once you get into the point where you're choosing your goals like you are now, you want to do it from a place of I'm doing it because this is fun. It's a game and you're trying to play, right? You're not doing it because to inflict more pain on yourself.
No, it's got to be fun. You've got to enjoy it.
A lot of people's goals when they start a fitness journey is, I don't want to look shit. I don't want those health conditions to happen. It's just coming from a place of pain. You're running away from the tiger, right? You're in a state of, I need to change. I think you're in the place you're at now. It's like, you can be like, cool, I've got the body, got the energy, got the confidence. What do I want to do now? It's all a game now. It's all fun. I think it's a nice place to be versus like, fuck, I just need to get some energy, just using weight. Yeah. I want to finally get results after 15 years. Right? That was the mistake you're in then, isn't it? It's just like, I need to get shredded because I've tried 15 years.
I think I look back and go, I wanted to see if it was possible.
Yeah. Whereas now it's like, what is possible? I can do anything.
That's exactly it. And that goes back to resilience, right?
I'm not going to say to myself, I'm going to run a sub 3 hour. I was like, I don't even know if that is possible, but I'm like, I'm going to give everything I can. Let's try
see what happens.
Let's see what happens. And I think the journey is the growth is in what you do to get there.
Yeah.
Then you'll probably be depressed on the day itself.
Huh? If I start running, you'll be really happy. I know that.
Yeah, they've had loads of runners coming out the other side of in the investment phase. A lot of people are picking up running.
Yeah.
Yeah, half marathons, 10Ks, Spartans, high rocks. All that kind of like different things. It's I think it's a great way to use your body. Like once you've got a good body and you've found that sweet spot, cardio stuff is a great way to challenge yourself.
I think the older you get, that becomes really so much more important.
So much benefits.
If the aesthetics aren't as important as the cardio health.
But it's also easy to stay in shape then because the cardio makes it, I don't have to I was telling you before we started, I was like, I track my weight once every 1, 2, 3 weeks.
Weight, yeah.
I'm scared of dropping weight, but
get to enjoy food.
It's just easy to maintain great condition when you're doing so much cardio.
Yeah. No, I agree.
You just got to find a cardio you enjoy. That's the key. If you're like slogging it on the Stairmaster, like no one's enjoying that, right?
I enjoyed the Stairmaster. People forget.
People do that to look hardcore.
Yeah.
But, you getting outdoors and going for a run or a cycle. I think it's just great 100%. Fun, especially if the weather's good.
Yeah. Especially if the Stairmaster's always being, in my gym, there's only 3 Stairmasters and it's always rammed.
People are just on it watching
You're
stuff.
like, how long you got left? How long you got left?
Yeah.
And people are like running for it. Yeah, I know what you mean. The cardio thing's massive.
Any final words for the listeners?
No, I think it's anyone on this journey that wants to come down. Just you got to keep going, and block the noise out, and don't worry about all the people saying you shouldn't do it. Lock in on your why and why you're doing it, and those reasons. And if it is, and you know what, if it is physical, to look good, that's okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong in saying, I want to look great and have abs, but don't underestimate the benefits that you'll get out of it because it's so powerful. And that's why it's so important not to give up. And I would always say, you guys are the best at what you do. And the fact that I can't sit here and still explain to someone in 2 minutes how I got this and what I did and everything shows you how integral a coach is, like you guys are and your team is, in supporting. So anyone listening, listen to what your coach has to say and trust the process, because you guys know what you're doing. And that's so important.
Amazing. Looking forward to seeing the next version of what you do.
10K in 40 minutes, yeah?
Yeah, bring it on. You said it now. That's all right.
Okay, man. Thanks.